Welcome to the Toastmaster session. And today we are going to have a movie review. And a movie, actually, in Indian context, people would take it so difficultly to examine the movie and go through that and give the review about that. So, to in a perspective of literature and to see the movie in terms of literary devices, and also from the perspective of an interpreter, we have chosen the movie that is 50 Shades of Grey, and there's a trilogy, and we have taken the first part of it. 50 Shades of Grey. There are characters like Anastasia Steele and Christian Grey. These are two dominant characters. Coming to the growth of the hero comes from an orphanage. He was adopted, brought up by a wealthy family. He was given an identity. That identity in him, as with the wealth and richness, has really constructed his confidence and his male characteristics. He, when being in a movie, behaves very dominantly and thinks that women, especially depicting the culture of Western world, where sexual activities and physical intimacy are very common outside the marriage or before the marriage, and he have showing the character of a very dominant hero and male character does have lot many affairs with multiple characters. And after coming in contact with Anastasia, he actually comes in contact with the real human feeling, and no more it was just a physical connection. It was a soul to soul connection. It starts from physical attraction, but it moves towards the acceptance of the person and change of one's own personality, and not to look at women as just a sexual personality, but rather as a human being who also needs freedom, also as a counterpart. That liberation of women, or maybe the concept of woman from the perspective of a male, has taken place through the movie. So, having given that introduction, I want both of you to interpret the movie from your perspective.
So I've got few details, few interesting things about this movie. The first is this movie was released in 2015, and as you said, it's trilogy. The first part is what you've taken today, Fifty Shades of Grey, and it's an erotic romantic drama film, and it's based on the novel by the same name. And this was written by E.L. James, the original novel. And coming to the review of it, this 2015 film, it centers on the relationship between a naive college student, Anastasia Steele, also called as Anna Steele, and an enigmatic billionaire called Christian Grey. It's not driven by complex subplots, but by a prolonged single conflict. That is, Christian's insistence that Anna sign a detailed contract to become his sexual submissive in a BDSM dynamic, and Anna's struggle to reconcile his dark desires with her hope for a conventional romance. So, this is where it entirely roams about. And there are a few interesting more things that I actually got. So, Anna Steele was played by Dakota Johnson, and Kristen Gray was played by Jamie Dornan. And the main conflict, as already told, it revolves around his insistence over this dominant to submissive BDSM contract, and Anna hesitates to agree to these terms. That is where it is, the focus is on the negotiation, because the film actually spends a considerable amount of time building around that tension and with that contract. And finally, it shows Anna walking away from it. So it says that always women need not become a passive participant, but they can always set and define their limits and walk away from situations that they can negotiate for. And the first film introduces Christian's red room of pain and hints at his deeply troubled past. As you said, like he was an orphan and he was brought up, and later an identity was given to him. So the conclusion comes with an emotional break and it leaves the relationship unresolved. This is where it sets up the stage for viewers to watch the other two in it, which are 50 Shades Darker, followed by 50 Shades Freed. So these are the two sequels that follow it to complete the arc. Yes, of course, there are some criticisms or about the plot and co-relationship. Some is the repetitive structure, as Anna's always questioning the non-romantic and controlling nature of the arrangement, and Christian's manipulative behavior by using gifts to draw her back into it. And there are a little bit of controversial themes, as you said, like some people don't accept it so well because it's moved from just crossed the line from ethical kink into the emotional abuse and manipulation, which is exactly where the story is centered about. And that's where, it talks about women being able to set her limits when she wants to. But yes, some did see it the other way around. And yes, so this is something, despite having a mixed to negative reviews, the range of reviews are in this range, mixed to negative, not completely positive. None of them, I think, were so completely positive, except for very few. But still, it could earn a good thing, a very good reputation among the audience, or the audience really wanted to watch the next sequels. Because, as you said, the critics say Anna's role, which is played by Dakota Johnson, that actress, or that actress humanized that character. And I think we also had this discussion some time back that this is one version of that particular thing or that topic which brings that human or emotional connect. So that is what caused the film to succeed, and that's all that I have, analyzed as of now.
So hello everyone. When I saw this title, when it popped up in the group like Fifty Shades of Grey, everyone was like, we're going to review 50 Shades of Grey. How come that this? Because the taboo around India is like it's a adult movie, it's a adult content. But people is forgetting what is the literature behind it and the emotions, human psychology involved in it. Than seeing it as a adult movie, though it's given as a tagline for adult, the content which they are showing to the audience is for the mature level of people, not who are in the teenage or below. So they have given the tagline, and it is appropriate as well. In other countries, like countries outside, the culture is very normal to have a date, to have a physical relationship with the other person without getting married. It's a very usual thing when we step out of India. But India, it's like a tradition where we are very orthodox and we should not even see a man before a marriage. We should not love all these things of pressures and where they have certain set of rules that this is what a girl should be and this is what a boy should be. If the boy is not obeying that rules, it's fine. But if a girl is not obeying, they'll be like, when a thorn hits a cloth or a cloth hits a thorn, the thorn will not get affected. The cloth will get affected. So this is what every time the people come up and say. So I see it in a literature perspective where a fresher or a college student, how their nature will be, who is shy and who is not exposed to the external world. So it was very clearly mentioned in the first half of the story, and she is getting introduced to a person who has a broader perspective and external world, like what to tell, exposure more. He's an entrepreneur. He has a dominant character. Wherever he goes, he is being respected because of the position he is into, and he has that mindset that whoever is with him, all are under him. No one is above him. So that kind of character was clearly portrayed in that movie, and the heroine's character as well. It was also mentioned very clearly. She's a college-going student. She is shy, though there was a negative review that the chemistry didn't work out on screen, but the character which the director has written was actually up to the mark. Maybe the delivery has some ups and downs. That's it. So when they came into that contract and that physical relationship, where the guy was showing a lot of masculine towards that heroine, and he was making sure that she bends for him for any cost, and he also makes sure that he is the controlling one. He doesn't even consider or care about the opposite person, what they are thinking, and what is her willingness to the feelings. All these things were not even given a consideration because of the trauma which he was having in his initial days. He was an orphan, and when he was out of the orphanage, when he came into a wealthy family, the family treated him as a tool to take over their company. And they were just seeing him how to make money out of him by creating him as a confident entrepreneur. So this is what they actually started giving him from the childhood. So thinking that is the right way of treating people, he started doing the same thing to the opposite person when it comes to partnership as well. This is what I personally learned from the movie. And later on, the director actually rephrased the character of the heroine when it comes to the second part, where she actually puts a boundary that this is not me and this is not what I want. And she also stay independent and she empathize herself that these things I don't personally like it, these things I personally like it, which actually gave life to that particular character. And it also involves a psychological thing where a person once go through something, how they evolve and come up and stand. This actually gives example to people who actually, whenever something has gone wrong, something is not working out properly in a relationship or any other thing, they usually go and they tell, I'm waste, I'm not even good enough at anything. They will end their life. So that has become very common nowadays. Even failing in exams, taking it very seriously, people are going and losing their life is actually not at all the right thing. But this actually shows that how she is moving on from that pain, how she is developing herself and growing and coming up to the next part was actually a good thing to show people that whenever a worst thing happens, the good also comes up. But the growth which we are going through is a major learning that we have to take it. Thank you.
I thank all of you for participating in this movie interpretation and movie review. I really appreciate the thoughts you put forward, the way you understood the movie and interpreted different meanings of the movie. It always adds to our lives and how we can see the world from different perspectives and spectacles. That always elaborates and widens the life itself to have a new perspective or maybe new way of looking at life and not to be very strict and adamant or maybe rigid with the life, but just be flexible to have the best of life. Thank you all.